She was ignored in a luxury jewelry store because she wore a white linen dress, flat sandals, no makeup, no designer purse. To them, she wasn't a customer. She was trash. "Watch her," one clerk whispered. "That kind doesn't come to buy. She comes to steal." All she wanted was to see a necklace. What she got instead were insults, side eyes, and blatant humiliation. 30 minutes later, her billionaire husband's Rolls-Royce arrived. De la Lumiere glittered like a jewel box on Rodeo Drive, its marble floors polished to a mirror sheen, its crystal chandeliers casting prisms across velvet-lined cases. The boutique was a temple of extravagance, where diamond tiaras and sapphire rings whispered wealth to a clientele of celebrities, tycoons, and royalty. At its heart, under a spotlight, sat the store's crown, a pink diamond necklace, its 18-carat centerpiece flanked by flawless white diamonds valued at $12 million. De la Lumiere wasn't just a store. It was a gatekeeper of status, where entry demanded a certain look. Designer labels, heavy jewelry, the scent of old money. Outside, valets managed a parade of Bentleys and Lamborghinis, and the boutique's Instagram, with its million followers, showcased clients dripping in luxury. This was a world where appearance was currency, and judgment was swift. Claire Monroe stepped through the glass doors, her white linen dress catching the faint breeze, her sandals whispering on the marble. At 36, she was striking in her simplicity, clear gray eyes, blonde hair tied back in a neat bun, a face bare of makeup but radiant with quiet confidence. Her canvas tote held a notebook, a pen, and a faded photo of her and her husband, Blake, laughing on their wedding day. Claire was a former nonprofit director who'd stepped away to focus on philanthropy. Her wealth, a vast fortune tied to Blake's e-commerce empire, kept private by choice. Today she'd come to De La Lumiere to see the pink diamond necklace, hoping to buy it as a 10th anniversary gift for Blake, a symbol of their shared journey. She didn't need to prove anything. She just wanted to feel the weight of the diamonds in her hands. The boutique was quiet, save for the soft hum of classical music and the murmur of a few clients, women in Chanel dresses, men in bespoke suits. Claire approached the central display, her eyes drawn to the necklace's soft glow. The saleswoman, Vanessa Holt, stood behind the case, her black dress hugging her frame, her blonde hair in a severe updo. Her eyes flicked over Claire's outfit, lingering on the tote, and her smile was a thin veneer of disdain. "Can I help you?" she asked, her tone implying the answer was no. Claire's lips curved gently. "I'd like to see the pink diamond necklace, please," she said, her voice clear and warm. Vanessa's smile tightened, her gaze raking Claire's sandals. "That's a showcase piece," she said, loud enough to turn heads. "Reserved for clients of a certain standing, not just for window shoppers." Claire's fingers brushed her tote, but her composure held. "I understand," she said softly. "I'd still like to see it. I can afford it." Vanessa's laugh was sharp, a sound that drew stares from the other staff. "Do you even know how much it costs?" she snapped, her voice carrying across the boutique. "Or are you just here for the air conditioning?" A nearby client, a woman in a fur-trimmed coat named Diana Voss, chuckled, muttering, "She must think this is a thrift store." Her companion, a man in a Brioni suit, smirked, his cufflinks glinting. "No appointment?" "Bold," he whispered, loud enough for Claire to hear. The boutique's hum shifted, eyes turning to the woman who didn't belong. As Claire stood by the necklace's display, trying to catch Vanessa's attention, a group of high-profile clients gathered nearby, their designer bags gleaming under the chandeliers. Led by Diana Voss, they openly dissected Claire's appearance. "Look at her dress," Diana said loudly, her voice dripping with scorn. "Did she wander in from a farmer's market?" The group laughed, their diamond earrings flashing as they snapped photos of Claire, posting them to a private group chat labeled De La Lumiere VIPs. One client, a tech heiress named Lauren Tate, added, "Bet she's here to case the joint, check her bag." The taunts grew bolder, with Diana tossing a coin at Claire's feet, smirking, "For your bus fare home." The boutique's other patrons joined in, their laughter a chorus of cruelty, while Vanessa and Ethan watched, smirking, doing nothing to intervene. Claire's hands tightened on her tote, her gray eyes burning with restrained pain, but she didn't speak. The photos spread online, captioned "Had boutique bum," each like a fresh wound to her dignity. Vanessa leaned toward her coworker, Ethan Cole, a wiry man polishing a tray of rings. "Keep an eye on her," she whispered, her voice deliberately audible. "She's got that look, like she'll ask questions to distract you while she slips something in her bag." Ethan nodded, his smirk matching hers, and moved closer, his eyes locked on Claire's tote. The accusation hung in the air, a public branding. Claire stood in stunned silence, her gray eyes steady but her heart racing. She didn't argue. She didn't raise her voice. She turned, her sandals silent, and walked toward the doors, the weight of their stares on her back. As Claire moved toward a side display, hoping to browse quietly, the boutique's security guard, a burly man named Victor, stepped into her path, his radio crackling. "Ma'am, I need to see inside that bag," he said loudly, his voice carrying across the store. Claire froze, her gray eyes wide, but she calmly opened her tote, revealing only her notebook and pen. Victor smirked, shaking his head. "Keep it where I can see it," he warned, his tone implying guilt. Nearby clients whispered, "Told you she's trouble," their phones out, filming the exchange. Vanessa leaned over to Ethan, muttering, "She's definitely up to something. Classic distraction tactic." The guard hovered, his presence a looming threat, following Claire's every step, his boots heavy on the marble. The humiliation was suffocating, a deliberate spectacle. Yet Claire kept her composure, her sandals silent as she edged toward the exit. The video of Victor's confrontation hit Twitter, tagged #ShopThief, each retweet a public crucifixion. As Claire paused near the boutique's entrance, adjusting her tote, a group of clients inside noticed her lingering. Diana Voss, her fur coat gleaming, called out, "Still here, sweetheart? The pawn shop's down the street." Her group laughed, their phones out, filming as Diana tossed a crumpled tissue at Claire's feet. "For your tears," she sneered. The other clients joined in, chanting, "No diamonds, no diamonds," as Ethan smirked from behind the counter. Claire's jaw tightened, but she picked up her tote, ignoring the tissue, her eyes fixed on the horizon. The video hit Instagram within minutes, captioned, "Rodeo Reject," racking up 10,000 views, each comment, "Total loser." "Kick her out," a dagger in her quiet strength. The humiliation didn't end at the door. Vanessa followed Claire to the exit, her heels clicking, and called out, "Don't come back unless you've got a real budget." The words echoed across the boutique, drawing laughter from the staff and clients. Ethan tossed a mock wave, shouting, "Try 'em all next time." A security guard stationed by the door chuckled, his radio crackling as he muttered, "Thought she'd grab and run." Claire's fingers tightened on her tote, but she didn't look back. She stepped onto the sidewalk, her linen dress catching the breeze, and pulled out her phone. As Claire passed the boutique's open backroom door on her way out, she overheard Vanessa and Ethan whispering to a jeweler, their voices sharp with mockery. "Did you see her tote?" Vanessa sneered, tossing a cloth onto the counter. "Probably stuffed with stolen earrings already." Ethan laughed, sorting a tray of rings. "Bet she thought De La Lumiere was a clearance sale." The jeweler, a stern woman named Carla, chuckled. "She's got no business here, probably fishing for a rich husband." Their laughter spilled into the hallway, loud enough for Claire to hear as she adjusted her tote. A passing staffer glanced at her, then looked away, complicit in silence. The gossip spread to the boutique's internal Slack channel, screenshots leaking online, each jibe fueling the narrative of Claire as a thief unworthy of their world. Claire's jaw tightened, her gray eyes flickering with pain, but she kept walking, the staff's words a fresh cut against her dignity. Outside, the Beverly Hills sun was relentless, but Claire's steps were measured, her dignity intact. She didn't cry, she didn't shout. She dialed Blake, her voice soft but steady. "They wouldn't show me the necklace," she said. "I'm okay, just let me know when you're here." Hours after Claire's departure, the De La Lumiere VIP's group chat, led by Diana Voss, posted a montage of her visit, her standing by the necklace, Victor checking her bag, her quiet exit, set to a mocking pop song. The caption read, "Linen Lady thought she could shop here. Know your place." The post, shared to Instagram stories, hit 30,000 views with comments like, "Thief in sandals," and "Her tote's probably full of our diamonds." Lauren Tate, the tech heiress, added a TikTok, stitching the footage with her own commentary. "This is why we need better security. Riff-raff like her ruin the vibe." The video spread to YouTube, each share a fresh wound for Claire, who saw it when a friend sent the link. At a nearby cafe waiting for Blake, she overheard clients from the boutique whispering, "That's her, the one from the video." Their smirks burned, but Claire sipped her coffee, her gray eyes steady, her calm masking a storm within. The digital pile-on was relentless, a public execution of her character. On the other end, Blake's voice was a low growl, the kind that silenced boardrooms. "I'm coming now," he said. "Stay there." Inside De La Lumiere, the staff returned to their tasks, the incident already a story to share. Vanessa adjusted her dress, smirking to Ethan. "Can you believe her nerve?" Ethan chuckled, wiping down a case. "She'll learn her place," he said, moving to assist a new client, a pop star in a sequined jumpsuit. Diana Voss posted a photo of her new emerald bracelet, captioning it, "De La Lumiere vibes, only the best belong." The comment section filled with likes, the boutique's aura untarnished, its hierarchy intact. But the boutique's polished calm was about to shatter. 30 minutes later, a black Rolls-Royce Phantom glided to a stop in front of the glass doors, its engine a soft purr that silenced the street. The valet froze, his hands fumbling with a key fob as the driver's door opened. Blake Monroe stepped out, his black suit tailored to perfection, his broad shoulders and sharp jawline cutting a figure that commanded the air itself. At 42, he was a force. Dark hair swept back, green eyes that could warm or freeze, and an aura of quiet power that made the world bend. Blake was the CEO of Monroe Ventures, an e-commerce empire that powered half the online retail in North America, his name a fixture in Forbes and Davos panels. He was a ghost in public, his face rarely seen, his influence felt in every major deal. The boutique's doors swung open as Blake strode in, Claire stepping out of the Rolls-Royce behind him, her linen dress unchanged, her gray eyes calm. The room fell silent, trays clattering, gasps stifled. Vanessa's smile vanished, her counter suddenly a flimsy shield. Ethan's polishing cloth dropped, his smirk gone. Blake didn't look at them. His voice was low, lethal, each word a blade. "Is the employee who insulted my wife still working here?" The question hung like a guillotine. Clients froze, their phones lowering. Diana Voss's bracelet clinked as her hand trembled. The pop star backed away, her sequins dull under the chandeliers. The boutique's owner, Mr. Giovanni De Luca, rushed downstairs, his tailored vest askew, his face pale as he recognized Blake. "Mr. Monroe," he stammered, bowing slightly. "Please, this is a misunderstanding." Blake's gaze snapped to him, his green eyes ice cold. "You let your staff accuse my wife of stealing," he said, his voice cutting through the excuse. "You let them humiliate her in front of your clients." He turned to Vanessa, who shrank back, her updo unraveling. "You told her she wasn't welcome, that she didn't belong." Vanessa opened her mouth, but no words came, her authority dissolving under Blake's stare. Claire stepped forward, her tote in her arms, her voice soft but firm. "I don't need them to know who I am," she said, her eyes meeting Mr. De Luca's. "I just needed to be treated with respect, like any other customer." The room was silent, the weight of her words settling like dust. Blake gestured to his assistant, a young woman in a navy blazer named Lila, who stepped forward with a tablet. "The necklace," Blake said, his tone final. "Now." Lila's fingers flew, initiating a bank transfer for $12 million, the funds clearing in seconds. Mr. De Luca fumbled with the case, his hands shaking as he lifted the pink diamond necklace. Blake took it, his movements deliberate, and turned to Claire. He stepped behind her, gently placing the necklace around her neck, the diamonds catching the light like stars. "Now she doesn't have to ask anyone for permission," Blake said, his voice quiet but resonant, each word a verdict. The boutique's silence was deafening, clients staring, staff frozen. Vanessa's face drained of color, her heels unsteady. Ethan looked down, his hands trembling. Mr. De Luca, his voice barely a whisper, turned to Vanessa. "You're fired," he said, his eyes darting to Blake. "Pack your things and leave. Now." Vanessa stammered, tears welling, but no one moved to help her. The security guard, once complicit, stepped aside, his radio silent. The fallout was immediate. A junior staffer, appalled by the incident, leaked the boutique's security footage to a gossip site. The video, Vanessa's sneer, Ethan's wave, Diana's tissue toss, went viral, hitting 20 million views in hours. TikTok exploded with "Had the Linen Lady," users stitching the clip with captions. They called her a thief. "Justice for Claire." The footage showed Claire's quiet dignity, her calm exit, and Blake's entrance, the necklace moment replayed endlessly. Instagram reels looped the phrase, "Now she doesn't have to ask." Each share a cheer for Claire's triumph. De La Lumiere's pristine reputation cracked, its Yelp page flooded with one-star reviews. "Elitist garbage. Boycott this place." Vanessa's name became a synonym for cruelty. Her LinkedIn profile was mocked, Her modeling gigs canceled as brands distanced themselves. Ethan's job prospects vanished, his smirk a memory in Beverly Hills retail scene. Diana Voss's influencer career tanked, her emerald bracelet post buried under comments like, "You laughed at Claire?" Her follower count plummeted, her status no shield. Mr. DeLuca issued a public apology, but it was drowned out by the internet's fury. Reservations at De La Lumiere plummeted, its velvet cases sitting empty as clients flocked to competitors. Days after the footage leaked, Diana Voss and Lauren Tate faced a public reckoning. Diana, desperate to salvage her influencer status, posted a tearful apology video, claiming she misjudged Claire, but it backfired, racking up 500,000 dislikes and comments like, "Too late, bully." Her endorsement deals vanished, her fur coat auctioned to pay debts. Lauren's tech startup lost $20 million in funding after investors, citing her toxic behavior, pulled out, her TikTok account suspended for hate speech. A coalition of De La Lumiere's former clients, inspired by Claire's grace, launched a boycott, their open letter, signed by 200 high-profile names, condemning the boutique's elitism. The letter, published in Vogue, praised Claire as a beacon of dignity, its viral spread cementing her as a cultural hero. At a Lumiere Fund event, a young woman approached Claire, tearfully sharing how the boycott gave her courage to leave a discriminatory job. Claire hugged her, her linen dress radiant, her victory a ripple that changed lives. The viral footage didn't just shame De La Lumiere, it triggered a legal avalanche. A class action lawsuit backed by Monroe Ventures' legal team was filed against the boutique for discriminatory practices, citing Claire's treatment and testimonies from former employees about systemic bias. The suit named Vanessa, Ethan, and Mr. DeLuca, their reputations shredded as court documents detailed their actions. Vanessa's fashion blog collapsed, her name blacklisted by luxury brands. Ethan's retail career ended, his LinkedIn flooded with thief caller comments. Mr. DeLuca faced a $10 million fine, his boutique chain losing major investors. The lawsuit's settlement funded anti-discrimination training for 1,000 retail workers, with Claire's Lumiere Fund overseeing the program. Social media hailed the verdict, had Diamond Justice trending as users posted, "They judged her dress, now they're jobless." Claire watched the news from her bungalow, her toad on the table, her heart steady with the knowledge that justice had reshaped an industry. The world cheered her quiet victory, a triumph born of dignity, not vengeance. The boutique's Instagram lost 100,000 followers, its aura of exclusivity now a cautionary tale. But the story didn't end with the necklace. A week later, Claire stood at a press conference in a simple navy dress, the pink diamond necklace absent, her tote on a chair nearby. She faced a crowd of reporters, her gray eyes steady, and announced the creation of the Lumiere Fund, a nonprofit seeded with $12 million, the necklace's full value. "This fund," she said, her voice clear, "will support women facing discrimination in elite workplaces, especially those judged for their appearance or background." The crowd erupted in applause, cameras flashing. "No one should be made to feel less," she added, "not for their clothes, their purse, or their dreams." The announcement trended globally, had Lumiere Fund eclipsing The Linen Lady, each share a testament to Claire's vision. The fund's impact was swift. Within months, it had trained 500 women in leadership skills, funded legal aid for workplace harassment cases, and partnered with universities to study bias in luxury retail. Claire oversaw every detail, her notebook filled with ideas for outreach, her tote a constant at board meetings. Blake supported her quietly, his Rolls-Royce parked outside. But it was Claire's heart that drove the mission. The necklace, now in a museum on loan, became a symbol, not of wealth, but of resilience. Women across the country sent Claire letters, sharing stories of being dismissed, mocked, or underestimated. She read each one, her gray eyes bright with purpose. De La Lumiere never recovered. 6 months later, it shuttered its Rodeo Drive location, its chandeliers dim, its cases empty. The pink diamond's absence was a wound, its legacy tied to Claire's triumph. Mr. DeLuca retired, his name faded, while Vanessa and Ethan scrambled for low-wage jobs, their elitism a relic. Diana Voss's influencer empire crumbled, her fur coat sold at auction. The world watched Claire's rise, her linen dress an icon of humility and strength. She didn't need to gloat. She'd built something better, not with anger, but with grace. Claire and Blake celebrated their anniversary at home, their modest Bel Air bungalow alive with laughter. She wore her linen dress, he his black suit, no tie. They danced in the garden, the city lights below, the necklace a memory they didn't need. Their wealth was vast, but their love was vaster, rooted in years of shared dreams. Claire's tote sat on the table, holding a new photo, her speaking at the Lumiere Fund's launch, her smile radiant. The world knew her now, not as a billionaire's wife, but as a force who turned humiliation into hope. Claire Monroe didn't need diamonds. She was the light. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.